Hello everyone, I am taking a break from singing covers and making fandoms for my favourite pairings. I'm sure many of you have heard of those YouTube blogs where people just take the piss out of Twilight constantly. I have got the book Breaking Dawn. I was lent it by a friend of mine a couple of years ago. She didn't like it, she got it for her birthday. And I got it when I was in the Twilight obsessed phase, but I actually hate this book. So I'm just going to go through it. Chapter 1, and this is going to be Chapter 1 of Breaking Dawn that I'm reading out. Yeah, I'm going to get made fun of. Yeah, I don't actually care. Here we go. We have a preface about Bella rambling on. Okay, Chapter 1 is called Engage. So if people who aren't familiar with Twilight, I'm sure will have heard about Bella Swan, Edward Cullen, their romance and all that. There was her best friend Jacob, and she's in love with him too as well, it seems, and he's a werewolf as well. So yeah, that's great. Anyway, she's engaged to him now. She's going to be married, basically, because she accepted his proposal in the last book. Anyway, this is how it starts. No one is staring at you, I promise myself. No one is staring at you. No one is staring at you. That's how it actually starts. Okay. So she's feeling quite awkward. And then she goes, but because I couldn't convince Lee, even to myself, I had to check. I actually wrote, I don't know if you can see, I wrote I wrote enough. I kind of edited what she'd written. I don't even take English literature. This woman's meant to have a degree in it. So, yeah. Right, okay. So everyone's staring at her. And you're like, why is everyone staring at her more than usual? And it says my car, so she's got... So basically, she's using this amazing posh car. And, basically, she embarrasses herself because she presses the pedal too hard. So that's basically her, stuck in a traffic jam, trying to convince herself that no one is staring at her. That's exciting. And she's talking about the weather again. She is. Saying, it wasn't bright out, a typical drizzly day in Forks. And she's just going, basically, for about 3 pages, going about how self-conscious she is. And some people come up to her and go, oh, is that this amazing new Mercedes? Oh my god. And then she just cringes and she whimpers, I miss my truck, I whimpered to myself. And that's basically it. Oh, and the car has body armour, £4,000. And she's still whining on about Edward, saying that he's getting her before car and an after car. And then, after whining about how self-conscious she is, and about Edward, and about, oh god, I don't want this car, I want my truck. Okay, she starts whining on about Jacob because there's all these posters where he's gone off because he's pissed off that she's gone and married to some weirdo. Like, why do you get married to Jacob instead? But anyway, she, there's all these posters her dad has put up that no one actually cares about except her dad. So she goes to a phone booth, because she doesn't actually have a mobile for some reason. Like any normal person would have a mobile. Like, oh, I'll have a mobile booth, it's an emergency. No, I'll just go to a phone booth and I'll just phone. What kind of century is this book in? Jesus. And then talks to Seth Clearwater, you heard of him. He's another werewolf, he's just a kid. And then he says, oh yeah, Jacob's not going to be talking to you. And then they just whine on and stuff. And then have a conversation with him. And then that's it. And then she goes back to a flashback. It's a flashback. You can tell by the 3 asterisks. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah. The 3 asterisks. Lovely. They're lovely. And then it says, and so Charlie comes in the house, and this is back to when she was announcing that she was getting engaged and saying, oh, I'm actually marrying Edward. And basically, when she can't work up the nerve to say, oh my god, I'm actually getting married, she goes, he jumps to the conclusion she's pregnant. And so basically just says, no, of course I'm not. And then basically she can't say it, so then Edward says it. So it's basically just sitting there, and it ends up Edward telling her that they're married. And then Charlie's a bit annoyed and thinks, oh yeah, your mum won't like it. Fortunately, her mum does like it. This is such a boring book. God, I'm actually falling asleep. And she uses some French word. She goes, I was thinking more like de bon air. So I don't actually speak French, so I have no idea what de bon air means. I'm not going to attempt looking it up because I can't be bothered, frankly. And she goes to a happy place, as Alice calls it, where she's talking about. She ends it with, I was with Ed in my happy place. So half the time, that's the end of chapter 1, but half the time she's going on about, like, oh, so this is the chapter, summed up pretty quickly. I'm reading it about the same pace as I'm describing this to you. So she's annoyed that everyone's staring at her about a new car. She starts dreaming about Edwin going, oh my god, he got me a car. She thinks about Jacob because she sees Jacob posters. She phones a werewolf up. Then she thinks about the marriage, how she said it to her dad. She goes home, sees him wearing a new tuxedo, thinks about Edward again. I don't see the point. So basically, that was it. If people are going to hate me, you know, like, and rant on my comments, feel free. I don't actually care. If enough people like it, I'll continue with this book. So to see if anyone's even interested anymore. But I hope you enjoyed my random chapter. I know I'm not a funny person, I don't consider myself to be. Bye. See ya.